All right, welcome to another episode of the Courtside Conference Podcast. As usual, it's your co-host Sam. Today I have a first special guest of 2021 for the first episode of the new year. Got my guy Hooper, young entrepreneur, 2K streamer. About to get to that YouTube bag pretty soon.
Yes, sir.
My guy Nick Swish, what's good, brother?
What's going on, man? How y'all doing today? Everything good with y'all?
Yeah, I'm straight.
What's up?
Where you checking in from? Where's that? You live on West Coast, ain't it?
Yeah, LA. Yeah.
You live in LA. Oh, all right, for sure. Child, what's it like out there right now?
I mean, it's cold for LA cold, but I mean it ain't too bad.
Oh man,
It's
y'all
like
got
like low 60s.
Man, go ahead. That's not cold. Freaking snowing over here the past couple of days.
I already know.
Had to drive like down the street from work. Thought they was sliding the whole way there. Almost had a panic attack.
I feel like you skiing, man. I already know.
Oh my god. So then you a Heat fan?
Yep. That's wild, man. I've been a Heat fan since I was like 5 years old, I think. I'm 21 now, so I'm stuck.
So how you in LA and become a Heat fan?
Well, the way it started was it was the Shaq trade. You know, I was little. I grew up in a Laker household. You know, I love Shaq Cole. I always will. But it just like when Shaq got traded, I'm like, damn, like this is weird. Like I'm not expecting it. Like it tripped me out as a little kid, and then eventually I start following D Wade, and then I just stuck with the Heat from there. So that's pretty much how I became a fan. You know, I've been rocking with them since like 04. So I saw the first championship when I was a little kid, and then the 2 championships we got with the big 3. So that's big time for me. That's all I need. But I do want more championships eventually.
Of course.
I seen us go through the mud. I seen us succeed. It's crazy, man. That's
dope, bro. I feel like we was all in like a somewhat of a Laker household at one point.
Yeah, definitely.
My 2 older brothers was big Kobe and Shaq guys when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then one of my brothers loves D Wade to death too, so he became a Heat fan after a while. Yeah. Especially when they had Bron.
Yeah, them big 3 days was different, man. I remember it was no middle ground. Either you hated us or you loved us.
That was fun though. I couldn't stand y'all.
It was fun times though. I missed them Celtics and Heat series. I will say.
Oh god, that 2012 series still breaks my heart.
That series had me so nervous, man. Plus, my grandma was a Celtics fan, so I would be at her house. We'd be arguing during the games. Like, oh my goodness, that series is hell, man.
Nah, Granny.
Yeah, man. It's
Granny bringing the smoke over hoops.
Man, I'm like, bro, like I know you love the Celtics. She loved them since Bird and them. I'm like, oh god, now they good again. So I know she gonna be on top of the world. And then when they beat the Lakers in 08, that just made it worse. I'm like, oh god, here we go. I already know what's going on.
Oh man, what was some of the LeBron years like as a fan though? Like how fun was that for you?
For me, like I had kind of a rocky type of fandom with Bron because, as a kid, I didn't like when people was, overly without rings. I'm like, Brian, you ain't got no chips, bro. Like Wade and Kobe had chips already. So I was big on that. But other than that, Brian, them 4 years was fun. I grew to appreciate him, over the time that he got here, especially his second year, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like, the time that we had with him, it was great, but I really do wish it could have, went past 2014. But I understand why he went home. I hated it at the time because I'm like, why are you going back to Dan Gilbert? But I understand it in retrospect. I mean, I can't be too mad at it. We had a good 4 years. We got 2 chips out of it. But
that's that 2013 season one for the books too.
Yeah, 2013 was a roller coaster at first. I'm like, okay, are we gonna be able to do this again? And then next thing you know, we come out even better. And that 27 game winning streak. Something told me when the day the Bulls ended, something told me we was gonna lose that game too. I'm like, it's gonna be them, isn't it?
I was so happy
with the Bulls. Oh my god, I was sick, man. I'm like, bro, it's gonna be the Bulls. I could see it because they was the only team that really played hard nosed against us to the point where it's like, damn, if we struggling on offense, there's nothing we could do about it. And Bron played solid, but it's like it's only so much he can do against that kind of a team. You know, we was
Definitely.
getting into scuffles. It was him and Jimmy going at it. Like, I'm like, bro, this is too damn much. Like, I'm not even surprised that we lost, man. I couldn't even be mad. Everybody at school the next day was like, "Oh, y'all streakers." I'm like, man,
Hey
as long
now.
as you chip, I don't care. It's okay.
Oh, I was definitely in school hyped the next day. Finally, finally able to slam
I
that.
already know, man.
Oh man, I used to come home and just like watch them play. Be like, all right, they be down like maybe 5 or 6 points. I was like, all right, they got a chance.
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes later, they be up like 50. I just turn the TV off and
Be
like take
like,
a
you
nap
know
or
what?
something.
Just forget it.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I'm
don't
done.
even want to watch no more.
Exactly. I ain't even watching no more basketball for I'm done with this.
Be like, I'm cool for the day. That's all I need to see. I
Oh,
see what's going on.
oh my
Oh
God,
man.
you a UK fan too, right?
Yeah, I do like Kentucky. Yeah,
That's
because
what's up.
most of my favorite players in the league have come from Kentucky. I love Bam. Bam is my guy, and I'm also I'm big on players that when they come from Kentucky, I just look at them kind of. I'm not gonna say higher up, but kind of like that. So with Bam and D Fox, no, those are two of my favorite players from
Yeah.
the 2017 draft. Those two and Lonzo and Tatum eventually, but I'm just thinking, I'm like guys that come from UK, they tend to be on the right trajectory in their careers, and we
Hmm.
see what Bam and D Fox are doing right now. So they're playing phenomenal basketball. I just need them to continue to grow. They still young, they both only 23 years
Facts.
old. So UK, that's the program, man.
The
That's all I can
program,
say about
yes
them.
sir.
Yeah,
Wearing your shirt right here too.
I appreciate it, man.
Shop
Appreciate
switch mode.
it.
And when y'all drafted Bam, I know you was hyped. So I was hyped
Oh
when y'all
yeah.
got him.
I was because at first I was like, okay, I want John Collins because I knew more about John Collins. But then when they said we got Bam, I was like, ooh, I like Bam though.
Oof.
I like Bam. I was like, I'm not
Facts.
tripping on it. As long as we can take him from being the raw talent that he was into being something better, I believed in our development, training staff to do
Definitely.
that, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now because he's
De-
averaging like 20 and 9 a night. So I know he's
definitely.
only getting better from here.
I saw him being this good, but I didn't think he would be this good like this early
Yeah,
on. So
yeah,
I was watching him at UK. He was like the third best player on that
yeah,
team to like maybe late season. He really started like getting it. I was like, he might have something here.
yeah,
Then he got drafted and fell to y'all. I said, oh, they got the one.
yeah, exactly. And it
I said
was
they got a
like
boy.
the thing with that season, I remember how it ended and how, him and De'Aaron Fox was crying and all that. I was sick. I'm just like, like I know these two gonna be good in the league, but I didn't want their season to end like that. But
Oh
I
my
knew
god.
I knew that D Fox and Bam would prosper in the league just because they had that, not just because they're young, but they just have the talent. They have the work ethic on top of it. And you look at somebody like Malik Monk. Like I thought Malik Monk was going to be a lot better than he was, although he killed us yesterday. But Malik Monk is still, he's not a terrible player. Like he just didn't pan out to what people thought he was going to be. But I
Yeah,
also think that's part of his situation. It's not entirely on him. So I mean, if he ends up leaving the Hornets someday, he could blossom somewhere else. He's a
definitely.
scorer. He could shoot. That's somebody that he can play the game. It's just a matter of situation sometimes.
Exactly. And he mad athletic too. So you need that
Yeah,
in today's era too. He can shoot,
yeah,
run the floor well. He get up there too for real.
exactly.
He just undersized a little bit.
Yeah,
He like
that's
what
one of his main
6'2",
issues.
6'3"?
I think so. I think he's like six
Yeah.
three, and at the two guard nowadays, like you kind of can get away with it, but in the long run, it kind of hurts. So
Yeah.
it's kind of
He'd be a nice 6 man spot up shooter
yeah,
he grows like
exactly.
a Lou Will or something one day probably.
Yeah, I would
I
take
want
him
but
right now. I ain't gonna
fast. I
lie to
wanted him.
you.
I wanted him in the all season to sit in the corner and just knock him
Yeah.
and just launch him.
I'll take him right now. I'm not even playing. Not even because of yesterday. I just like the fact that he's a 3 level score type dude. So I
Yeah,
can live with one of those.
definitely, definitely. So when your band made the leap last season, what'd you think?
Man, it was so fun to watch because it's like, bro, I knew he had this in him, but I didn't think it was like you said. I didn't think it was gonna happen this soon. And seeing him just blossom like that, the way the offense was being played, like yeah, he still has the tendency to not be aggressive enough sometimes, but I think over time he's gonna get used to that. He's gonna
Yeah,
get used to being a focal point because he knows how good he is. It's just a matter of he has to show it. And when he does, it's like there's not much you can do about him. Like we saw what he did this year against the Nets that first game. It's like, bro, you can do that almost every single night. You just have to believe in
Exactly.
yourself to do it. And last year, even before the bubble, he was showing me flashes of being able to do stuff like that. So I believe in him to. It's just a matter of confidence, schemes with Coach Spo, everything like that. I believe that he's willing to take himself to that next level. He just has to.
Definitely.
But
That man is flat out like dominant when he want to be too. Like
exactly.
you said, he has like the passive stretches, like during our playoff series, whatever.
Mm,
Like that last game, like in particular, but it was like every game really. But that last
yeah,
game, I feel like we had that joint.
yeah.
And then like y'all stole momentum back. Then he made like a couple like buckets in like
He
the
was hitting the
next
tough mid
5 minutes. He was
ranges. He was
just
driving to the
bodying
basket.
everything.
Man, that's what I'll
He
be talking about with him. It's like, bro, you have the ability to, dominate and take over a game. It's just a matter of you have to tell yourself you can do that all the time. Like you're not gonna get 40 every game, and that's okay. We don't need you to do that, but we need you to, at least believe in the fact that you can go get it, or at least try to. Like Bam, I feel like at his peak powers, Bam can average probably 23 and 11 a night with 5 dimes at least.
easy, easy.
And it's on top of that, it's coming with elite defense. So he can do it. It's just he has to apply himself to be able to do that nightly. And I believe there's going to come a point where he does, because like you were saying about game 6, we saw him flip the switch. He basically won us that game and eventually that series. So I just feel like he needs to believe in himself to be able to do that on a constant basis. And there's nothing that'll be able to stop him, really.
Definitely. I feel like he kind of passive because he not used to being like since like high school.
Yeah.
The last like up until last season, like I was like college, like the last 3 years or so, he wasn't used to being the number one guy. Like we said in
Yeah.
UK, it was Fox and Monk in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got to Miami and had to like be the role player a little bit. Then Jimmy
Yeah.
came in last year.
It's like, bro, you gotta
Yeah,
like ramp that up. And Jimmy is the type
exactly.
of guy, he's gonna push anybody that he, truly believes in. And,
Yeah,
he sees that in Bam. He sees some stuff that Jimmy sees Bam doesn't even see. And when he finally sees it one day, that's when the problem's gonna come for the rest of the
uh,
year. Because it's
like
like, what are you supposed to
um,
do about that?
like that one interview, y'all. I think like the post interview, like right before All Star break last year,
Mm.
or before they announced All Star reserve. I think he was like, Jimmy, how you feel doing it without no second star? And he was like, what you mean? What is Bam doing?
Yeah. It's like, what are you like? We got Bam right here. And
Exactly. It's like from that point when you were like when they started like really putting that confidence, and that's when he took off like the
mm-hmm.
rest of the season, the playoffs.
Yeah, because it's a matter of with NBA players, you need people in your ear telling you to be confident, believe in your abilities. You do need that. And then there's some players that, naturally have that. Like you look at somebody like LaMelo Ball, he has the natural confidence that
Yeah,
he's gonna be the best player on the floor, whether he is or not. But Bam has confidence. It's just a matter of he has to consistently keep it. And he has to consistently believe that, I'm ultra talented. I got this mid range going for myself. I can get to the basket almost whenever I want. I can take bigs off the dribble because I'm faster than them. Like he can do that nightly. And it's just
that's
I think he's gonna come into his own to the point where, he's more or less kind of like our number one option type guy if we don't trade for anybody else. But
yeah.
I think he can do
And he got his money already too, so
it.
it's only
Yeah.
up from here.
Yeah, exactly. And
He got the full 5 years with no option, right?
mhm.
So
And
shoot.
it's like, bro, Bam is the type where, some players they get paid and they don't want to get better. Bam isn't one of those guys where he's like, I got my money now. What I need to get better for? Like it's no point. He's one of those guys, he wants to constantly get better.
No,
And
that boy,
he
dog, he
shows
gonna
it.
get the
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah, he shows it, not just on a nightly basis. He just shows it, his work ethic, how he talks about himself during the game. Like he gets so disappointed when he has, a passive game or when the Heat lose, and then he comes back the next game dominating. Like that kind of attitude is something you need, when you have those capabilities as a basketball player.
Definitely, definitely. Let's get on to the rest of the season. So as usual, the big news, the the Brooklyn Nets right now.
Yeah.
What you think of the big three and the rest of the team so far?
The Nets. I don't know, man. I'll say this. This is one of the best offensive teams I've ever seen in my life. But at the same
Easy.
time, it don't matter if you giving up almost the same amount of points every game. And people was, either laughing or killing me for saying that before even they got hard. I'm like, it don't matter if you scoring 120 a night if you're gonna give up 121. Like you can't. People don't realize you making it harder on yourselves by you scoring all this much, but you not getting the stops because that
Exactly.
means you got to go back and forth, back and forth. You're gonna burn yourself out that way. And it seems like most of the games they be in now, it's like almost like playoff battles, and it's like you don't want that in the season. Like you can coast a little bit, but y'all still got to get used to each other, and y'all got to establish some kind of foundation on defense. But they don't have the rim protectors for that. So
Yeah. And they stars ain't known for playing defense. Like Kyrie was
yeah,
just on
like
us like hard on
Kyrie
himself
just
a
be
couple
out
days
there.
ago.
Yeah,
We know
Kyrie just be
Harden.
out there. Harden play defense when he want to. I mean, he's a great post defender, but on
Yeah.
the perimeter, I mean, he's just gonna watch you like this if you go by. Like, what are you supposed to do at that point, man?
And KD be trying.
Yeah,
I
KD
give
at
it
least
that.
gives the effort, but he shouldn't have to do as much as he
Yeah.
does. Like,
And
he shouldn't have to be
KD like 7 feet long, so he don't naturally
yeah,
like be disruptive defensively anyway.
right. He's gonna be some kind of presence because of
Yeah.
just how he is, how he
But
has.
when that's your main presence, it's not a good look.
Yeah, like
And then, and then you
that's the
got
problem.
DJ just there.
Oh my god, DJ just there collecting a check, dog. That's
Oh
what
man.
he's there to do. Like people were saying, I think it was like 2 weeks ago when they first got hard, and I'm like, y'all still got to remember DeAndre Jordan isn't good anymore. Like y'all
DJ
still
don't
paying him.
care, bro.
You paying him 10 million just to be out there. Like you can give me that job if that's the case, but
Damn.
I don't know, man. I think
That
they're gonna
man
be good though, but it's
that
just
man that man DJ bullied he bullied Kenny out the job. He bullied Jared
just to
Allen
be
off
out
the
there
team.
collecting a check. Oh my god, man! Yeah, like
Josh.
if they somehow were able to keep Jared Allen in that trade and then sent DJ instead, then they would be looking a lot better than what they are. I
Yeah.
would be considering them, more of a favorite because Jared Allen is a good rim protector. He rebounds. He can score the ball off, offensive rebounds or dump off passes. And he would be good with Harden, especially because Harden's a playmaker. He's a good passer. He's making DeAndre Jordan look passable on offense sometimes. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure he could do that with Jared Allen.
So he hooping in Cleveland right now too.
Yeah, he is. He's just had like 23 and 18 or something like that
Yeah.
yesterday, I think, with like
I see something earlier
5
that said they
blocks.
was looking to get rid of Drummond since he played
Yeah.
so well since he been there.
I think they talking about buying him out. I'm like 28 million is a lot. Like that's a big buyout. You might as well try to trade him at that point.
That's the Josh Smith joint, ain't it?
Yeah, I'm
For the
like,
next couple of years.
like that's a huge contract to just, we're gonna buy you out of this contract. It's like 28 million. It's not like it's 10 million. Like 10 million, you can live with that, but you getting almost 3 times that. That's hard to buy out, and that's hard to, That's also helping the Nets in case of, if he gets bought out, he's more than likely gonna go there, and you don't want to just basically give him to Brooklyn for free. That's stupid. But
Exactly.
that's on Cleveland. I don't know what they're gonna do.
So I don't say Cleveland going Cleveland.
Yeah, right. Cavs gonna be the Cavs, man.
Oh God, but now Harden's starting to come on after like them little disappointing few games he had when Kyrie first got back.
Yeah,
when he was had 5 points that one game.
Yeah, he's starting to figure it out. They trying to get acclimated with each other. It's just a matter of they have to establish who's going to be the number one, and it seems like Kyrie is going to be it. But then you have games where it seems like KD going to be the number one. It's like, okay, y'all just taking turns at this point, and then that can either go really well or it can go really bad. We saw with the Clippers last year; they didn't have no real identity established, and that's why they ended up losing to the Nuggets. So. I mean, we'll see. I think the Nets going to at least make the Eastern Conference Finals. At least. I'm not going to pencil them in for the finals, but I think they at least make the Eastern Conference
Finals. I just see Philly or Philly and what's that? In the Bucks. There we go.
Yeah.
I feel those as the two teams that could really exploit them. They ain't got no size.
Yeah. They have no interior defense.
It's just whether like She know Giannis and Embiid they don't get there. It's just it's the rest of their teams going hold their weight and score enough to keep pace over the course of the series.
Yeah, because you could score in the paint all you want, and that is gonna help in the long run. But if it's just Embiid scoring, it's not gonna mean much because if Seth Curry can't get it going, or if Ben Simmons isn't being productive, or if Tobias Harris not giving you his usual 20 a night, it's not gonna mean much. In hindsight, it looks like damn Embiid about to average 50. But what would that mean if not everybody else is doing anything?
Exactly, just don't tire Embiid out all game.
Yeah, you're just gonna burn him out, and then when everybody else actually gets going, possibly, then he's not going to be as productive. So you kind of have to have everything clicking at the same time. But if it is, then it can get real ugly, especially with the Bucks. Like Middleton and Giannis and Jrue Holiday all clicking at the same time, it could get really ugly.
Exactly.
Score. It's like if you can't get stops in the playoffs, that's where it matters most. That's where defense matters the most. Like regular season is kind of like trial runs. Like you testing stuff out, but playoffs, if your defense ain't up to par, you're not winning.
Especially in them real slow pace, grinded out games. Because during the playoffs,
style games.
Exactly. Because even during this era in the playoffs, the games still slow down to a considerable extent. So the Nets can go during regular season, run up and down the locks threes all game long.
Just shooting anything.
Yeah, but during the play, especially that fourth quarter, them tight games where they got to really slow down,
got to grind it
run
out,
them sets, and get 5, 3, 4, 5 stops in a row to win the game.
And it's hard for Brooklyn to do that because you see, we saw in the Cleveland games, once Cleveland went on a run, it was almost nothing they could do. Like if Brooklyn came down and missed, Cleveland go down and score. Brooklyn come down and miss again, they come down and score. Like it's nothing they could do at that point. And you got 3 elite offensive talents, but if they somehow all off, which is not likely, you're screwed. Like you're done. There's nothing they can really do. They can't generate enough defense.
And there's some teams that just not gonna be scared of them either.
Yeah.
As the season go on. Sometimes they you can punt a lottery team for a couple games in a row. We just saw a couple nights on Sunday with the Wizards.
That
Russ
ending was crazy.
Russ wanted that game.
Russ was not about to lose that game if he could help it.
Exactly. They couldn't believe it either.
Yeah, that's another thing though. They gave up, what was it, 149 in regulation? That can't happen, bro. You could score 146, but you giving up 149 in 4 quarters to the team with the worst record in the league, that's a problem. You can't allow that. That's an issue.
Exactly. They gotta tighten up, man. You gotta tighten up.
Yeah, it's a matter of, buyout market, if they can get the right pieces. If they could tighten their defense up, then it's gonna be hard to beat. But if they go into the playoffs looking like this, they're not gonna be too tough to, potentially beat. It'll make it a little easier on teams. But teams also gotta be prepared to, see Kevin Durant shooting the goddamn lights out. But, that's what you expect. That's what you expect with KD.
God. Man, KD lost me some money a couple nights ago too.
Oh my goodness!
It's kind of beef right at the moment. All I needed was one more 3, bro. I needed him to make at least 3. That man made 2.
Man,
I said, come on, bro. The fourth quarter, he's sitting there drawing fouls and taking beats. I'm like, bro, come on.
It's KD, shoot a 3, please.
I'm like, dog, just walk the court, step into a 3. I beg you.
That's why, in parlays, I always put at least 2 threes from him because I know he's gonna have at least 2 moments where he just come down and shoot.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. He had 30 at that too, but that's the night Joe Harris decided to hit 7 threes of his own, and Jeff Green had 4, so it's of course.
Yeah, it's I can't do that. Teammates is doing the same thing. Exactly. There's no point in me coming down and pulling.
And a couple nights before I got screwed to John Collins ain't score. I needed one more point for him.
Oh my goodness. And the game that what game was it? It was the Nets and Hawks. Everybody in the Nets and Hawks game, they covered. Everything was cool that game.
Yeah.
It came down to the Spurs and Celtics game. Oh my goodness. Kemba turned the ball over, I was screwed because bro, I can't do anything. They're about to lose the game. I just needed the Celtics to win the game. Tatum covered. Jaylen Brown covered. Everybody covered, but they lost the game, and that just ruined the whole parlay. I'm like,
Oh
it's
man,
not
that's her. Timber got get together too, man. But Smart
yeah,
out the next couple weeks,
yeah,
at least 2 weeks. So he don't have the ball low. I think he should be able to at least knock down some shots
yeah.
on the regular.
Get some kind of rhythm at least, and if he can do
Yeah,
that, then that helps their chances a lot more.
that's why I'm trying not to be down on him right now, as much as
Yeah,
everybody else is, because like he playing a different role. He not really the off ball dude anyway.
yeah.
So now when you come
That's
back, you
not really
got
his game. You kind of
that
got
now
to
you
get used to that.
yeah you come back, you got the two guys you was a little in front of a bit for like
Mm-hmm.
at least like half the season last year. Now they out here getting like 30 pieces on the regular. Now you just
Yeah,
got kind of and Smart just stepped up as a playmaker too. So that's like three guys you got to deal with,
all right.
kind of holding the ball more to him than what he
Kind of
used
got
to.
to
So
adjust to that because it's not always easy for stars, people who used to having the ball, to just
uh,
shift to playing a more off ball type role. And even though he's still the point guard, it's just like you still kind of got to get used to Jalen and Jason getting their reps.
yeah,
These two
he
guys
can't
that
dribble.
can go
He
get their
can't
own.
dribble for like 5-6 seconds and work your
Yeah,
way into a rhythm. Like that's
exactly.
Jalen and Tatum dribbling for 5-6 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
He
That's
in the
they're
rhythm
getting
now.
used to that now, and that's why
Yeah,
Jalen is averaging like 27 a game because he's able to constantly, go get his own buckets, and he's still able to, play off ball. That's what makes Jalen, so great because
yeah,
he's been used as an off ball player for so long, and now he's getting his on ball reps, and it's working. That's what makes him. It's like damn, like he can do both now. He can play on ball.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. He's still going to be a productive player. So it's going to take time for Kemba to adjust to doing that.
Exactly. He don't get there. He don't get there. At least I hope so. Anyway, but
Yeah.
one thing we learned last few, ain't no contract untradeable. So
nah. That's definitely not. Yeah,
I ain't no thing we see today with CP got traded. He got traded
yeah,
twice.
yeah. That his contract is huge.
Exactly.
It's like I know Chris Paul is an all-time great, but damn, that's a lot of money to be giving
This
Chris Paul at his
the
age.
super max at 35 and you traded
Exactly,
twice.
exactly. If you can afford you got a solid career set out for you at that point because
Oh,
you look at Chris. It's like Chris is still effective. Chris is still a great player, but that's a lot of money.
a lot of money.
And then on top of that, he has a player option. And Chris Paul is not about to opt out of that 40
Nah, he ain't, especially what is he like 36 now? He ain't leaving no money on the table
Yeah,
at this point.
like he's not just gonna give that up and be like, oh, I don't want my 41 million. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah,
get that again. He's
he
not
said
getting
it. He said the top of last season they was talking about buying him out in OKC. He was like, nah,
like that ain't gonna work.
like y'all tripping.
I don't know what y'all talking about. I ain't getting bought out.
That man
I don't
took it to
blame
the chin, went out there and hooped, and said,
him.
forget it.
I don't blame him though.
Yeah,
If I was getting that much money and I was his age, I would do the same thing. I can't opt out of that. That's too much money. Like if
exactly.
it's like 10, 15 million and I know I can get that maybe
He don't
every
make that
3
bad.
years. Yeah, like I can live with that. But 41 and nah, I can't do
Op
it. I'm sorry.
it.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be selfish. I can't do it.
Oh, you got to shoot.
Yeah.
But who else in the league sticking out to you at this moment so far this season?
Um, I would say, well, the way Houston is playing right now is kind of, crazy because I won't say I thought they was gonna be horrible after the Harden trade, but I didn't think they was gonna be, surging like they are. They have, I think since the trade, like the best defensive rating in the league, and then they're on a 7-game winning streak now or 6 games.
Yeah,
It's like, damn, they're playing really good hoops right now. And then as far as, Utah is playing really good, and then in the East, nobody in the East is really sticking out to me.
nah, the
Like
East
the East is kind
everybody
of
so hit or miss for the first
yeah.
like
It's
right now.
like either everybody got hit with COVID, or it's
Yeah,
injuries, or it's like just up and down. It's like nobody really sticking out to me in the East right now. I mean, the Knicks are playing solid though. I will say that.
yeah. I'm happy for
Still
Julius
got
Randle.
yeah. Julius Randle, that's been my guy since he was in college. I love
Facts.
Julius. I'm seeing him prosper right now. I'm like, damn, Julius is finally here, man. Like it took a few years, but
It
it's
took a minute.
okay.
We here though.
Yeah, it's time. It's okay. And
Exactly.
it's got him playing solid defense. So I can give the Knicks that nod as far as who's surprising me out of these right
Yeah. The Hornets starting to get together
now. Yeah,
lately. LaMelo
that's
finally
another
having
team.
that real
Yeah,
impact.
yeah. Because I think with the Hornets, their offense is you know, it's kind of shaky with the way Devontae Graham be shooting sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
they're starting to figure it out. You know, they got Hayward, you know, more or less running the show over there, and their defense isn't horrible. You know, it's
Yeah.
for Hornet standards at least, it's solid, and you know that's why they're able to win games. I'm still mad that they won last night because we shouldn't have gave that game up, but it happens. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes teams take advantage of you being lazy or lackadaisical on both ends of the court, and that's what happened. So I can't be too mad about it. That's on us.
Exactly. Melo got to stay in that start lineup though.
Yeah, I
They
think
don't
so
have
too.
they don't have to pat Devontae on the back and send him to the
Yeah,
second unit.
yeah. Devontae, he's better suited as a 6 man anyway because you
Yeah.
can't have somebody in your starting five, consistently shooting like 32% a night. That's not gonna
Mm-hmm.
cut it. And you think of, Terry Rozier, he could play the two off of LaMelo because LaMelo is gonna play make, he's gonna score, he's gonna rebound. And Terry Rozier can go get his own buckets.
Yeah, and Terry not a natural point. He's not really a facilitator anyway.
Yeah,
So
he's not
at the
like
two,
no
that's
true
more that's
PG.
his natural position.
Yeah.
So
So with Terry, and then you got Gordon Hayward. Gordon is, like I said, he's that obviously the main source of their offense. Scoring wise. So they're a solid team. I think they'll be a playing team as long as they keep up this flow. I think they could at least be the ninth seed and be a playing game.
yeah.
Make it interesting. But
The East could have an interesting play in for real.
yeah,
Like you said, the Hornets, maybe the Nets. I think y'all probably don't squeeze and get that 7. So
yeah,
see, that's what I'm saying. I probably want to worry about that. The
yeah.
Raptors, they still in the midst of the play in right now too.
Yeah. The Raptors is just weird because like what happened from last year? Like y'all was just on almost on the top of the East, and then now it's just like a
Exactly.
completely different team. Like they struggle to close out games and whatnot. Now it's Pascal Siakam that's been moved, that ain't working no more. Like
Nah.
this, I don't know, man. But the Raptors, they one of those teams that when they click though and they get it together on defenses, they'd be a tough team to knock out in like a playoff series. Like if they was like the 8th seed or the 7th seed, they'd be tough to knock out if they
Yeah.
going. You're not just finna steamroll the Raptors. They gonna make you earn that that
Exactly.
series.
They're gonna make you earn every time.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about the Heat right now. I think we need moves to be made, but if we for some reason didn't make moves, I think we would still at least be a playing team,
Yeah.
maybe like a 7th seed, like you said. And we're
But
not
y'all issue is
this
just that y'all just got hit with COVID though.
yeah, and that messed us up really bad because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say we would have won every game that we play, without Jimmy and Bam, but I feel like we 20 games in, we 7-13. We had an ugly loss yesterday. We could have been 8-12, but I think if we didn't get hit with that, I said it on Twitter earlier. I think we could have been at least 11-9 through our first 20 games because there was games
Yeah.
that we lost because we didn't have enough. We didn't have enough
Mm-hmm.
offense after a while. We couldn't get the proper energy going. We didn't have no closer. We didn't have Jimmy out there, getting to the line or getting buckets when we need them most. So it makes a difference. You see the difference when your star players.
Definitely.
I know you've seen it. With Tatum being out as much as Jalen was hooping. It's just hard. It
Yeah,
makes
you
it
just
hard.
don't, especially when you play them good teams, you just don't have enough sometimes. Like when
Yeah.
y'all was playing Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
that first game, like both games y'all was in, it really, and Bam was going like crazy.
Yeah.
He had his career high, but like late game, y'all just ain't have enough.
Yeah. We
Y'all
just
couldn't
couldn't
like get a timely
generate enough.
stop when y'all really needed.
And
Then
then
y'all couldn't get like a bucket.
yeah, in the second game, it was even worse because it was tied up in the middle of the fourth, and then Harden start cooking, but we couldn't score. Like if
Yeah.
we could match bucket for bucket, if we had somebody that could at least go bucket for bucket, it makes it harder on Brooklyn. But if we can't score, it's not going to mean anything. If Harden is, going off for like 15, 16 straight points.
Exactly. So
So,
that's when you're rolling on the role players to really,
yeah,
like, it's
and
only so much you don't really give from them on
yeah,
the nightly. And when that run out, you don't need that. Y'all
yeah,
would have needed
exactly.
Jimmy for that moment right there.
Exactly. Because at least Jimmy, if he's not scoring, he's at least getting to the free throw line. He's going to at
Yeah.
least do that. And, when you run out of gas like that, it's like, I mean, we got to live with it. It's only so much we could have did in that moment. So
Yeah.
that's why I wasn't really mad at them Brooklyn losses. The first one I was because it's like, damn, like there was so many things that went wrong that if they went right, we could have got that game even without Jimmy.
Hmm.
But the second game, I'm like, we just didn't have enough. I'm not even mad about it.
Yeah. I think my thing I really liked about Jimmy, like an underrated thing. I think Jimmy controls the pace of games really
Yeah,
well.
he
Like
does.
better than he really gets credit for on both ends of that.
Because
Like you can
Jimmy, he's
throw
the
him the
type.
ball and he can set up either on the perimeter or set up
Yeah,
on the block and call the play and
exactly.
facilitate the play.
That's one of his, underrated abilities because Jimmy is the type where, he can go get a bucket if he wants to, but he's also looking to get his team involved and he knows how to on a very well, level, especially to the point where, it's instilling confidence in especially our shooters like Duncan and, Tyler, once he gets going, like Jimmy is going to keep pushing them like, hey, keep doing
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And people don't give him enough props to that. They see Jimmy as the guy, he's getting his buckets or he's getting to the free throw line. But he's a very underrated facilitator. That's one
Yeah,
of the things I love about him. He knows how to slow a game down to where he can manipulate it to get his team a win. And that's a very
definitely. That's why when people like be like nitpicking his like low scoring games,
mm-hmm.
like I get it sometimes, but it's like other nights it's like, but they want, especially when y'all win games, they be like
Yeah.
he only had 12, 11, or like 8 points, but it's like he didn't score much, but it's like he didn't really have to,
Yeah.
because like he can sit like Jimmy C, like you said, Bam or Tyler or Duncan going off, he not going to
Yeah.
just
He's not
insert
going to just
himself
take
in the
away.
way.
Yeah. He's
He
not going
gonna
to take away
just
from
feed
that.
them the ball, then go make a hustle play on defense, go
Exactly.
grab an extra rebound, go run like an extra pick and roll or something.
All right. And that's
He just
what I
gonna
love about him. He's unselfish to the point where it's like, okay, you getting yours. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. If you hooping, you hooping. I'm not finna,
yeah.
try to meet my averages just because, I don't want to look bad to people on Twitter or something like that. Like, if I have
Exactly.
12 points and we win, we won. Like, it don't matter. And if I have 30 points and we win, we won.
Exactly.
That's the kind of player he is. And that's why, he's my favorite player because even when I hoop, if I could have zero. If we won the game, we won the game. If I have 30 and we won the game. That's what it comes down to. And that's
Yeah.
why I have such tremendous respect for him.
And we can see he can go win a game because that man had like two of the best playoff games, two of the
Mm-hmm.
best finals games we ever saw. So
40-point triple double, the first one to come in and win. Like the fact
exactly.
that he was the first one to do that and he didn't make any threes that game, that's what make it even crazier.
Oh God, that man was taking the Lakers to war like single handedly. That's when Dragic was out too, and Bam
Dragic was out,
had like a
Bam.
little lingering injury.
Yeah. It was a tough game, but it's like when you see somebody has the determination and the will to win and there's nothing you could do about it, you just gotta live with it. And I
Shot let
was
it
so
rock.
happy watching that game because it's like, bro, I know we probably not gonna win this series. I expected to, lose that final series because it's the Lakers. It's not much we can do. But when you see somebody, fighting constantly, the will to win, that's a tough thing to do.
That's dope to see.
You
Like
got
even if you're
two
not a
games.
fan of that team, that's just so fun to
Yeah,
see.
it's just dope to watch because like, damn, we're seeing somebody take over this game just to at least have a fighting chance, just to
Yeah.
have a fighting chance, and that's what he did for 2 games. I don't know how he did it, but he managed to do it. It
Exactly.
gave me some moments.
Like even when I see like a random role player go out here and highlight the game of his life against like a good
Yeah,
team, even if like my team, I can't help but like just like laugh to myself about it. I'm just like applaud him a little bit, like go
it's
ahead,
like you
dog.
you kind of gotta live with it. Like do what you
And,
gotta do, man. Like it's gonna help you in the long run. Your confidence, make you a better player, whatever. Do what you
and
gotta.
that one game to change that like player whole career from that point up too.
Exactly.
So
It could
shoot,
change their whole trajectory. Their confidence could be through the roof. That you never know. You never
and
know what a game like that can do for somebody.
handful of games like that earn you that big paycheck at the end of the season too.
Exactly.
Keep you in the league
Exactly.
the extra two,
Yep.
3 years. Shoot, I ain't mad at
Just like when we had Whiteside, the games where he was getting triple doubles with blocks. It's like you don't know what that could be doing for his confidence, and we saw what it did. And I mean, he's on a minimum now, but
But he
it
got his
propelled him.
bag though.
Yeah, it propelled him to a point where he got a big bag like that, and that's
That's
something
the
like that
dream.
could really be life changing. That's why you got to
Hey,
respect these guys.
hey, that's the dream right there.
Yeah, facts.
All right, man. So who your MVP so far?
At the very moment, hmm, I would say I've been saying Embiid is my MVP so far because the Sixers look good. He's been playing phenomenal, and it's kind of like I don't really see nobody ahead of him at this present moment. Now, could that change? Of course. Embiid is the type where he'll start off hot, kind of lets off the gas a little bit, and then he'll lose his case. But at this very moment, MVP.
Embiid is like he finally playing how we all wanted him to play these last couple of years too. He finally
Exactly.
cutting out them like stupid like long twos or 3-pointers,
Yeah.
and even if he took a jumper now, it's after he done scored like
Yeah.
5 buckets in the paint or
He
hit a
get his
couple free
rhythm.
throws. Now he in rhythm.
He don't
Yeah,
just come down
like
chucking no more.
it's actually like we played that whatever, but he took like maybe 3 threes like both games. But
Mm-hmm.
whenever he took threes, he was either like wide open and like
Yeah.
coming off a rhythm and setting and knocking down. It was like
Exactly. It's not forced anymore. It's not like he just, getting the ball. Oh, let me go shoot a three. And he doesn't have
yeah,
Brett Brown making him do that anymore. He had
exactly.
Brett Brown kind of using him as a floor space. And it's like he could shoot, but he shouldn't be one of your floor space.
And now Doctor emphasized him finally playing with like what 12 feet in pretty much
Yeah,
most of the game.
exactly. He's mostly, doing his work in the post, whether
Yeah,
it's post fades, he's getting to the middle of the paint, scoring, dunking, whatever. And it's working a lot better for him than,
yeah.
shooting
Like
those jump shots.
like before, I like last year a couple times a year, folks seen silly like try to hit a step back midi off
Yeah,
the dribble or
it's like, come
something dumb
on,
like
man.
that.
Like that's don't start. But
Exactly. Now when he is like if he do shoot a mid, it's after he done like pivoted, turned around. The
yeah,
defender then gave him some space, so he just like shoot, why not?
he,
And
he
now he
get
pulling.
comfortable. He
Yeah,
get
then
comfortable to the
he
point where
knocking
it's
them
like
too.
I'm pulling. Yeah, it's like if he's in a constant rhythm where you can't help but just try to guard his jump shots the best you can. I mean, at the end of the day, he's at least 7 foot tall, so it's nothing you can
Exactly.
do at the end of the day if he's making those
Exactly.
shots. So if he gets in that rhythm, it's hard to stop him, and that's why as long as he continues to play like this, I can see him take on that MVP. They're
I can
definitely not gonna. I hate to say it, but they're not gonna get that to Giannis again. They could win. They could win
no.
the next 50 games. He's not gonna get it again.
No, until the Bucks make the playoff, until the Bucks make the finals, Giannis not getting another
Yeah,
MVP.
he not gonna get that media love like he was
I said
because like all.
we saw that with Brown back when he first went to Miami. He
Mm-hmm.
had a case for MVP, but they weren't gonna give it to him without that
Yeah, nah,
trip to the
they wasn't
finals.
about to do that. Hell no. Nah.
They ain't give Nash no more after he never get to the finals.
Yep. As soon
And
as
he had
Nash
like
stopped getting, all his love, you notice like his teams wasn't as, successful. It's kind of like he's not getting to the finals. Why are we gonna keep giving him these awards?
exactly.
No point. Like at least get there. If you don't win, you don't win. But
Mm-hmm.
he not getting there either. Like Giannis, we saw him. He lost to the Raptors his first MVP. Then this past year he lost to the Heat second round. They're like, we're not gonna keep giving you these awards.
No.
Like we can't help you no more. I'm sorry. But I mean that's how it be sometimes, man. Sometimes, you gotta suffer at the hands of, defeat pretty much.
Yeah, you gotta watch them regular season praise
Mm-hmm.
accolades slip away though. Look
Yep.
at the bigger picture. So
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about winning that chip. So
yeah,
if he wins when the media love is gonna be way different than what it is now, for sure.
yes, exactly. I think Jokic. They saying I think he probably maybe top 5. I wouldn't say he.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider him like a leader, but he's
I
starting to
can,
hoop
I can
lately.
see it because he's, Denver started off struggling and then they start kind of getting a little rhythm together. And, Jokic has been playing really good. He's
Yeah,
finally getting himself together. He wasn't playing bad, but it's like, Jokic, we know you better than this. Like
exactly.
we know what you really capable of. And now he's starting to show that and they're winning games. So
Mm-hmm.
I could see him, getting into that top 5 MVP
Yeah,
voting
he up
race
there.
at least,
Let's
especially
see.
depending on how they finish this year.
Exactly. Let's see, LeBron. He always gonna be up there.
Yeah, Bron
It's
is
like
always going to be in it by default because he's
it's like
Bron.
his best shooting season in
Yeah.
since Miami right now. So I mean, shoot like almost 40% from 3, if not
Mm-hmm.
40%.
I think he had 39 point something right now. It could be 40, but I could be wrong. But
He knocking them joints out. I can't lie.
yeah, he's getting to a point where it's like he's comfortable with, shooting that high of a level because, Bron, he forces them sometimes, but he's not having to force so many threes. He's
Mm-hmm.
comfortable because he's playing off a shooter and, guys like that. He can do what he has to do. And that's kind of where, Shooter comes in because it's another guy that can handle the ball. LeBron doesn't have to have that responsibility as much as normal, and that helps him in the long run. He gets more into a rhythm that way. So,
would you say Kawhi or Paul George is the Clippers MVP so far?
I had PG as their MVP at the moment. Like a couple weeks ago, but the way Kawhi been playing, he might have the slight edge right now. But PG is also shooting like 46% from three, so it's kind of like I don't know. It's hard to argue that, but Kawhi might have a slight edge right now.
Yeah, Kawhi's starting to get back on his He's starting to get back on his defense his bad too.
And you can tell, like, it seems like his knee isn't bothering him as much as it was in the past. You know, he seems more engaged on both ends of the court. You know, he's hitting his mid ranges. I mean, that's never gonna die. You know, the Kawhi mid range, that's lethal. That's always gonna be there. The post work, everything. And Ty Lue got them, you know, playing like a pseudo triangle offense. So it's kind of, you know, getting everybody their reps, getting everybody in rhythm. And I like how it's going for him because they corner 3-point shooting. I saw a stat. I think they shoot 50-some% from corner threes.
They got Pat Bev shoot like 40% from three over
like
there.
Marcus Morris like 51% from corner threes. I'm like, oh man, they just getting rhythm though. They getting good looks. You know, teams not making them, you know, settle for twos or make them drive to the basket. They're not shutting their threes off, so they're gonna keep shooting them. I mean, you're not gonna do nothing about it. They're gonna keep pulling, and it's working for them. So we'll see how that next game goes today. That's gonna be.
That's gonna be a good one right there.
I already know that game gonna be fun.
Oh my god, who you got any first time All-Stars this year on your ballot so far?
I think Jalen needs to be an All-Star game. I think it's almost like if you don't put Jaylen Brown in the All-Star game this year, you just
so what we doing here?
Like, bro, he's averaging 27 a night and with like 5-6 rebounds like that. That's good enough for All-Star appearance. I thought he was gonna make it last year, but I know they went with Tatum instead. But now you can't deny it. You can't say.
Did Zach get in? I asked this question earlier. You had to leave two out. LaVine, Trey, and Malcolm Brogdon. Which one would you rather see in?
I can only pick one of them.
Yeah.
As much as he's been making me mad just watching him lately, you kind of got to put Trey in there out of them three. But I could see a case for Zach too, because Zach, you know, the Bulls aren't actually, you know, they don't look too much like a lotto team this year. They actually look like a solid team. So I would say Trey, but I could see the case for LaVine. And Brogdon, I mean, he's on the Pacers and they got a better record and all, but it's like, I don't know. I'll say Trey. Yeah, I think I feel like it would be. I mean, LaVine has his case, but it's kind of hard because, you know, the East, the backcourts in the East, like I say, you got Jalen, you got Zach, you got Trey, you got a couple guys that's like
Chris Middleton.
Yeah, like it's a couple guys where it's like somebody gonna barely get left out and it's gonna piss fans off, but that's how it ends up. Like, you saw how much of a struggle it was for Dame to make it out west for the longest.
Yeah,
I already know somebody in the East is gonna get that kind of treatment.
We seen Book had to be a alternate last year to finally
he had to be a replacement, so
and he should have been there.
Yeah, I think so too. Because Book, despite the Suns being, you know, G League level teams most of them years, it's not his fault. He's still been like an all-star.
So. Yeah. Brad Beal get in this year?
He has to. There's no way Bradley Beal
the lead scorer in the league.
Like, he was averaging 30 last year and didn't make it. So I'm like, okay, y'all doing too much. There's no way he's averaging 35 right now and doesn't make the All-Star.
Exactly.
It's almost like you kind of have to lock that in unless he gets hurt. That's the only reason he shouldn't make it. And even then, you give him the nod and then somebody replace him.
Exactly, y'all let that man. And Brad so casually be dropping
it's just 42. Regular for him.
Like that the game Sunday, he just like strode up court at the end of the fourth and knocked down that three.
I think he had like 22 in the fourth that day on Sunday. Yeah. I'm like, he just does this regularly.
And he spent the first half
upset. Sitting away from the team on the bench. It was, oh my goodness.
Second half.
It was like he just wanted to leave.
Exactly. Second half, when he finally saw the game within reset, man, I was like, all right, for sure.
He's like, I'm actually start playing basketball now.
Exactly.
As soon as he did, they end up winning that game. Like he came down, hit that first three, then they get the steal. Russ hits a three. It's like, hey, we start clicking at the right time. It's winning time. So that's what matters the most.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's see who out west too. Who the backcourt for the West? Steph and Dame or
I think
Steph and Luka?
yeah, I think you kind of have to give it to Stephen. Well, it depends what they count Luca as a forward or a guard, but I feel like it would have to be Steph and Dame. Like that's almost like the guaranteed, top two in the league at least. And it's just like if you count Luca as a guard, he might get more votes. But other than that, I think it's almost consensus Dame and Steph as the West backcourt.
Yeah, then who else in the starting? Bron, of course.
Bron, yeah.
Kawhi.
Kawhi probably gonna start, and
And
then
probably AD.
they might get to AD, even though he's starting slow. It's like it's still AD. It's either gonna be
And
him or Jokic. So
dang, I forgot about Jokic.
yeah, so any of them three, I think it's any combination of those three. You at least gonna get LeBron in that bunch because I mean,
Yeah,
LeBron. That's
that's
almost
Bron.
guaranteed.
It'd probably be him, Kawhi, and Jokic. I could see that.
Yeah, I could see how. Unless AD just randomly picks up his play, I don't think he'll start over Jokic.
No. And he think he can turn on and off and that he feel like,
Yeah, it's like, man, come on, AD. Like you way better than what you showing folks right now. And that's why I be so hard on him on Twitter. Like I love Anthony Davis. He's one of my top 10 favorite players in the league. It's just like, bro, we know what you're capable of, and you just out here it's like you out here getting cardio sometimes. That's not the player you are.
Bro, AD
Not who
really
you
got
are.
like a bad too that I really ain't noticed till last season playoffs. So I ain't really watched the Lakers a lot like during the regular season. Like I think that Denver series, like in particular, like, that man really got like a real bag. He can hit the threes, knock like step
He's
backs,
got the
the
mid
midi.
range. He got the face up game. It's like, bro, you
Yeah,
can do this all the time. It's just like we were saying with Bam. You can do it all the
dude,
time.
all
You
the
just don't.
time.
And it's so irritating. It's like, bro, you have way too much talent to be playing, as passive and as regular as you do.
Exactly.
But
And like I be getting mad when people try to put him like the top 5 power
yeah,
forward
that's
ever.
that's when I have the issue. I'm like, don't
Yeah, come on,
put him in
so.
the KG and Duncan conversations if
But
he's gonna
there's
be
like,
doing this.
you watch him play when he really, really locked in. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
get with them people like want to give him the
Yeah,
hype, but it's like, come on, you gotta do this. You gotta at
you
least
got
go
to do it
like
on a
win an
consistent
MVP or something.
basis.
So
Yeah, you can't take time off. It seems like AD takes games
yeah,
off more or less. Like when people have the him versus Giannis comparison, it's like okay, you could say AD is more skilled and talented and all that. That's cool, but you're never going to get a game where Giannis is going to sell you short because he didn't try. Giannis is going to sell
exactly.
you short because he had a bad game. He's not going to just take the game off. That's one difference between them, and it makes a huge difference. But people don't look at that part. It's like Giannis isn't gonna have one of those games where he's like, I'm not gonna do too much today. Like he's gonna give his 110% effort every single game, and that's why he's a two-time MVP. There's a reason for it. He's giving you that nightly. It's not just, I'm not gonna play good today. I'm just gonna be regular. Like even in his 25-minute games where it's blowouts, he might have 20 and 13 with
Exactly.
5 nines, and that's regular for him. So
Fast.
people don't
Yeah,
really look at that much.
it's actually like you say, his bad. It's not him because he's not trying to show because he really just having a bad night.
Yeah. And
But
that's
AD,
why he needs to Giannis, I think Giannis needs to just really get into a more post bag. Like he needs to work on his post game more. And
exactly. Yeah, they didn't
post.
just slide Giannis down to the 5
Yeah.
full time.
Because playing him at the 4, you essentially, enabling him trying to be a point forward. And it's not like he's terrible at it, but that's not what you need him to do. Let him play more of a point center role than a point forward because he's very
Exactly.
he doesn't need to.
He's throwing the ball on the block, wait for the devil, and he don't kick it back out to
Yeah,
whoever
he's
open.
gonna pass the ball. He's a very willing passer, and he's a good passer at that. So, if you double Giannis on the low block, either he's gonna reach right over you and dunk it, or he's kicking it out to Middleton or DiVincenzo, Drew Holiday. Like he has options.
Exactly. I done seen Giannis get like smacked and still like beaming the
Yeah, he's
pass
still
back out to
going.
like
Yeah,
Middleton for three or
yeah.
something.
It's easy. Like he's either going through your center or your power forward, or he's throwing a dime straight to the corner because you decide to double him and somebody's wide open. But
Exactly.
we know how Coach Bud is. Bud isn't the smartest guy in the
But
world.
they don't change a thing. He
Nah,
gonna
but
he gonna ride the ship to this to the
yeah,
sink.
Bud is just going. He's not gonna make the adjustments that somebody like Giannis could, very well benefit from.
Hmm.
But that's on him.
That's all him. In your last area, something that you a team that you watch a lot. What's wrong with the Pelicans? What's keeps I see they get a lot of early leads, but they blow them too. So like, what's going on there, from your opinion?
Pelicans have well, they have three main issues. One, they have 1990 spacing. You can't have somebody like Bledsoe and Adams grouped in with, you got a generational score at the rim like Zion, and then you're not giving BI no room to really operate. And then problem number two, they use Alonzo as a wing when he was much better with the Pelicans as a playmaker. When he's pushing the pace, he's running the ball with them, throwing lobs to Zion. He made that look so easy. And then three, I think the third issue really is, playing the lineups with Bledsoe and Lonzo because they more so favor Bledsoe to be the playmaker, and he's not really even a good shooter off the ball. So it's like, why would you trade for Bledsoe when you had George Hill right there?
Exactly.
It's kind of counterproductive. Like if you stagger, minutes with Zion, you could have Lonzo as his playmaker, or you could have George Hill as his playmaker. He's gonna eat with either one of those two. But with Bledsoe, he has a mind of his own where it's Bledsoe time. I gotta go get my buckets. And I can't really shoot that good, but I'm a shooter anyway. Like it doesn't solve anything. And that's why JJ Redick is struggling because most of the time the lineups they have, he's like the only shooter. So it's hard to get in a rhythm that way.
Yeah.
When the ball not moving around a whole lot. So
And
it's
the
something
issue with another issue with Bledsoe being like the default point guard
to,
is that when Bledsoe get frustrated or if he realizes he not having it, he
yeah.
don't just clock out for the rest of the
Yeah,
game.
he just mentally checks out, and it's
And
like
you
there's
can't
nothing you
have
can do
your
about
point
that.
guard of all positions
Yeah,
mentally check it out of a game, especially when
because
you got the dude like Zion who need the point guard to
exactly,
get him the ball. You can't have Bledsoe out there just throwing the ball out of bounds every trip up court.
and then you can't make Brandon Ingram in those situations play the point forward. Like he's a capable passer and a playmaker, but you don't want Bi to be your primary playmaker because if you have Lonzo right there and your offense looked a lot smoother when he was running the show as the point guard, why are you limiting him to playing like a wing? Like that's not his style.
Yeah,
Lonzo's not a wing player. He's a player that when he has the ball, he's looking to set up offense, whether it's transition, it's half court. He's looking to set up offense, get Zion his easy buckets. Some of Zion's easiest buckets came off Alonzo passes last year, and now they're going away from that, and it's not working. It's like, why would you make it more difficult on Zion when you have somebody who's a capable playmaker and a really good passer, to set him up. And same thing with Bi. Bi can play more off ball with Lonzo being the playmaker, but
hmm,
they don't want to do it for some reason. I don't know. And now they're looking to trade him and JJ Reddy. It's like, look at the rest of your roster construction. How are either of these two supposed to be as productive as they normally are when you got them, bunched up like it's the '90s Spurs? Like, there's nothing you think
yeah.
about. So,
And I hold my critiques Alonzo, but the one thing, like you said, you're not gonna use him in the role he's supposed to be using as
mhm.
the ball handler, the passer.
Yeah, like Lonzo's
Like,
not a
then
wing.
what are you doing?
It's like maximize him. And if he doesn't play well while you're maximizing him, then that's a problem.
Yeah,
But
and like when
you're
you
not giving
using
him a
him the
chance.
wrong way and he playing bad because of that, then
Yeah,
you messing with his confidence at that too.
exactly. You throwing him off, and then in turn, it's gonna make it worse for him because Zoe's the type of guy he feeds off of, having confidence. When he plays confident, he plays well. Like we just saw him have 27 on the Bucks the other night. And when he plays at a level where he believes like, hey, I can actually go do this, it's like he's a more productive player than he isn't. And for some reason, the Pelicans don't see that. I still don't understand why David Griffin not only traded for Steven Adams, but he extended him on top of that. And it's like Steven Adams a good rebounder, but you extend him instead
I
of
didn't
going
even
to
know he
get
extended
a
him.
stretch big or something. Like, why are you making it harder for Zion to go get his in the paint when you know he's not a shooter? And then
Exactly.
people try to blame Zion for that. I'm like, he was never a shooter in the first place. He's known for being a high flyer and being able to catch lobs and do what he does in the post. Like, that's not his game to be out there shooting. Like, should he develop it at some point? Sure. But he's only 20.
Exactly.
That's not what we know him for. So
Yeah. And if he was going,
harder.
they like you said, they could have left Steven Adams where he was and they wouldn't snatch Christian Wood back for the low.
Christian Wood, you had Miles Turner just dangling like
Yeah.
a worm on a fish hook just out there. I'm like, go get him. And then you make your offense so much easier. Like if the offense was, you got Lonzo, George Hill, B.I., Zion, and Miles Turner. That's a solid team. And if they can't do anything with that, then there's a problem with the players.
You don't even need the bid that's fully gone stroke the threes. You just need him to not be in the way.
Like just at least the threat of it, because Miles Turner is good at the above the break three. Like if you got Lonzo going to the basket and then he can't get inside the paint, you kick it back to Miles Turner. More times than not, Miles Turner is going to hit that top of the key three.
Exactly.
It makes your offense so much easier because teams have to guard out there, and then it makes it easier for Brandon Ingram to get his mid-range looks, get his rhythm going. But I don't know, man. The Pelicans have a lot of issues related to, just being built too old school of a team.
Exactly. And the way they build don't make sense for how Stan Van Gundy coach either.
Mm-hmm.
Because we saw him in Orlando. He was the first dude to really have the big in the middle, and everybody else around him a shooter.
Yeah, like
that's the modern
situation.
That's the modern way they play now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you build him the team from, like you said, 1990s. Like, what are you doing?
It's like, why are you setting him up with this kind of roster when you saw how productive it was in Orlando for him? Like, of course they don't have a Dwight Howard anymore. It's hard to match a peak Dwight Howard, but you got Zion. You got somebody
that you don't get to.
Yeah, like that's somebody that's he's generational to the point where he's already breaking records and he's only 40 games in. Like I think he has like the second most points scored in somebody's first 40 games of their career. And he's playing with some space and that looks like it's straight out of the Jordan era. Like that's crazy to me. So imagine what he'd be doing if he had the space. But I don't know. David Griffin is I don't know, man.
It's a reason LeBron came back and took the reins in Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly. Like he knew what he was doing.
Exactly.
David Griffin got that rep off of Bron pretty much.
Pretty much.
It is what it is.
Oh man, for sure. In the end of the show, I do a top 5 segment where I ask the guests 3 questions, get their personal top 5s on all 3 things. So you ready?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
As usual, the generic hoop question. Who your 5 favorite players ever?
My 5 favorite players ever. First D Wade, that's my guy, and then Cole, Shaq, KG is definitely 4th, and then 5th. I'll say Bron. Bron is probably my 5th favorite ever.
All right, word. And you a video game? You a gamer? You stream? I see you secured the PS5.
Yeah, yes sir.
Give me your 5 favorite video games ever.
Ooh.
Like any console.
That's a good one. Well, I'm gonna say my favorite game ever is NBA Street Volume 2. That's one of the best games ever.
Yes, sir.
NBA 2K11, San Andreas. What's number 4? Number 4, I'm gonna say Saints Row 2. Saints Row 2, I had a lot of fun on. And then 5. Damn. This is one to think on. Probably it's underrated. It don't get enough credit, but I might say Grand Theft Auto 4 because Grand Theft Auto 4 was.
Grand Theft Auto 4 was a fun one.
That was a good game.
We don't forgot about Fortress 5 been here for like 10 years.
Bro, oh my God. They never gonna let that game die, man. And I don't blame because it's making money, but golly, it's like it's literally almost a decade now. So
bro, I was a senior in high school when that joint came out.
So I just started high school, bro.
So I remember I was at a football game, me and the homies was like hype about it finally being here.
Yeah.
That was like 2013.
Like 2013, I was starting my freshman year, and I'm like, okay, GTA 5, like it's finally here. I'm happy as hell because I got something to play other than like
Yeah.
sports games like Madden 2K. And to see like I'm almost 4 years removed from high school and it's still a top game. I'm like, God damn, man. Like
I checked
we never getting a six, it seemed like.
I checked like the all time sales. That joint is the second highest selling
Yep.
game ever. So I was
Second
like,
highest.
I see why they're not making another one.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't blame y'all. Y'all gave me y'all bread, do what you gotta do. But it's just like, damn, I want a six game already. But
And they probably don't have an update by the time this podcast uploads.
exactly, knowing them, they gonna have a brand new heist. You get clothes. I'm like, damn, we was just talking about it. Like, just spoke it up.
Oh, and God, and last one. Let me get your 5 favorite rappers ever.
5 favorite rappers: 50 Cent, Kendrick, DMX. Who's fourth? This is where like those are my solidified top three, but the fourth and fifth is where it get difficult. Four, I'll say Cube, and then fifth. Damn. Fifth, it's either Andre 3000 or I'll say Big Boy. It's out of them two. I can't really pick between them, but that's
Right,
probably my top five.
Right. Yes. All righty. That's mom's checking in. She don't tell what she want about 5 minutes or so. Oh man.
Yeah,
you said Big Boy. So you West Coast. I know you grew up hearing a bunch of Cube and Dre and whatnot.
Yeah, but I think with me, I listen to music. It don't matter if it's West Coast or not, but those still five because 50 Cent. I love 50 Cent since I was a kid, and he's from New York. I've loved 50 Cent since I was like 6 years old, and I still love him to this day, even though he don't make music. So I can't say anybody is above him. And
yeah.
Kendrick seemed like he damn near disappeared off the face of the earth. I still love K Dot. So that's still my boy. It's just like, damn, when we get another album, dog. Like,
and Good Kid to Pimp a Butterfly.
To Pimp a Butterfly is my favorite, but Good Kid, I see why it gets more regarded as the classic out of the two. But To Pimp a Butterfly is my favorite Kendrick project.
Butterfly is the one. I didn't get it at first until I really got bored and just like sat down and listened.
Like when you actually listen to what he's saying, some of the stuff he's talking about, like he's talking about his depression and stuff he's going through.
Exactly.
It's like that was a really good album. The sound of it was good, but people on Twitter, they always gonna bash it just because
they don't call it boring and
it's like
laugh at some of the skits and stuff on there.
Yeah,
come on.
Like if you don't understand it, that's on you, man. It's not for you then, if that's the point. Like if that's the case. But that's how it is with music. Music is very subjective. If it's for you, it's not. So be it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly. Hopefully, he drop an album at some point.
Something this year. Hopefully, but
hopefully.
Kendrick's so quiet. You won't even know. He's just like Kawhi Leonard.
Oh my God. And my last question, not a top five, but before we let you go, tell me about the brand, Swish Mode. How did that come about?
Most started because randomly on Twitter one day I decided to change my @ and I was trying to think, I'm like, what's something creative? So I just did Swish Mode, kind of like Sicko Mode. And then my family, my mom, she has a brand that I think she's had it for coming up on 10 or 11 years now. So, we started branching out into clothing again because she was doing it already. So we started getting it together. And then I was trying to think, I'm like, what's something that, represents me that could stick? We kind of have our own lines of clothing in the same brand. And I came up with the little SM logo. And then I'm like, damn, this is actually, stuck with me. And, pretty much from there, I've been rocking with it. I put it on some of my mom's brand shirts. And then I came up with my own site, kind of trying to see if people want to see any specific designs or anything, like kind of like the UK one that you got on. So I'm like, I kind of wanted to just give people a chance to, really know a little bit more about me and what I'm about. Swish Mode, it's a more of a mindset type thing. Swish Mode is like invincibility. You feel invincible. You feel like you can accomplish anything. When I quote unquote go into Swish Mode, I feel like I'm unstoppable. Like nothing can stop me from achieving my goals, whether it's, in life, basketball, whatever. And, that's what it means to me. It's very important to me because it's something I just want to, branch out and grow over time, whether it's just a brand or it's just, the phrase, whatever. I just wanted to take off at some point in my life.
That's dope, though.
Appreciate it.
You say you started, a couple of years ago?
Well, her brand has been around for over a decade, but Swish Mode, like I came up with that like about 2 years ago, and then turned it into the whole little branding thing about a year and a half ago. So,
and your guy on 2K is Nick Swish too.
Yeah, yep. And I came up with the Nick Swish name. Funny enough, not too long before we were just talking about GTA, I came up with that right before GTA came out because it started because of some Nike ID shoes. I was trying to figure out, I'm like, what the hell can I put on the tongue? And I put Nick. I'm like, what can go second though? Like, I don't know. And then I said, I'm hooping in these. I'm putting Nick Swish, and Nick Swish has been my nickname ever since. So that's what it from there. It's been almost 10 years. People really be thinking that's my name. I'm like, bro, my last name is Swish. People really be thinking that's my name, and it's so funny. But like, man, you can call me that, but that's definitely not my name.
That's dope. You found something that really stick and work for you. So
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah,
keep grinding though.
Appreciate it, man. I will do.
So how many subscribers you up to right now?
At the moment,
YouTube?
I think I'm at 1.58 thousand right now. So I'm about to get back to uploading consistently. I'm supposed to upload either sometime today or tomorrow. So once I get that video going and then get that series started, then I hope the the trajectory keeps going up. So
that's so you monetized yet, or you still on the way?
Yeah, I finally got my monetization about a few weeks ago. So I'm like, hey man, I'm here. I got the ads on my videos and whatnot. Y'all want to, but I just wanted to get to that point because I'm like, you know what? Once I get here, it's only up, and I have to keep at it. I can't just settle with getting an ad or two on my video and be happy with it. I gotta keep getting to the point where it's gonna generate real revenue because it's something I really like doing.
That's where the money is too, online.
Yeah, exactly. People don't realize a lot of these YouTubers living off of this. Like Chris Smooth, for example. Chris Smooth has life made. He could upload a video saying hi, and he'll get like 500,000.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I say all the time, if I knew how like popular just like video game like culture and streaming stuff would be when I was like a kid or whatever.
Exactly.
My parents used to be mad because I was in the house like playing games all day long. Like, man, I would have gained even harder.
Man, if I knew it was gonna take off like this, I would have been doing it. But
yeah,
it's just a matter.
That's why I said the new generation, like kids that's in like middle school, high school now, and like when they get like 19, 20, they're not gonna really look at college.
Yeah,
that's like the necessity because they don't have already been on the internet for like 10 years at that point, knowing how it works, and they're gonna be like straight to the money that way if they smart enough.
Yep. They gonna take advantage of the society we live in. Like
exactly,
the gaming community is pretty much solidified as something that's gonna be here probably for the rest of our lives, and it's always gonna be profitable because people enjoy watching people play video games or their streams or videos. So that's what keeps me going. When people tell me, "Oh, I enjoy your videos," or "This is a good video," like keep it up. Like that's what keeps me going. And I can only imagine the bigger YouTubers and streamers.
Exactly. My nephew, he just turned 7. He liked to be on YouTube and likes the like the Fortnite videos and stuff. Like to do like streamers playing Fortnite. So yeah, it's a real market in that joint, bro. So salute to you, salute to everybody else doing the thing.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
So I appreciate you coming on, bro. You're welcome back anytime.
No problem. Hey, whenever you need me, I'll come back to the podcast. I love doing podcasts.
Yes, sir. That's what's up.
I'll get you on mine too. I'm probably gonna start my podcast up with sometime this month. I'm gonna try to get it going again. So I'll have you on if you're down for it. So
I'm always down, man. Always down to talk some hoops.
Appreciate it, man.
Sir, all right, brother.
All right, bro. You have a good one.
No, I appreciate it.